fourth unit where I have tried to take one case study on sustainable forest management activities. ठीक है. This sustainable management plan was given by an IFS, Dr. GV Reddy. Okay, so he has tried to give you a brief. Now this report, because in your forestry paper, this is an application paper where we need to go for different case studies also. Okay, you won't be getting everything in a single book, so we will be taking this case study, how different kinds of sustainable activities government of India they are going through. Okay, so for this I found this document quite good. So this is a document which we will be taking for today's class as a reference document. Okay, so this is into your first unit as well as in fifth unit. Some part is there in fifth unit also, ki how do we go for different plans making as far as the sustainable management of the forest is concerned. Okay, so let's start with the values of forest. In the very previous lecture also we have discussed that what is the value of forest. Okay, two-thirds of living species they are dependent for their activities on the forest. And in the COVID era also we have seen that without oxygen or with the lack of oxygen, how people are suffering in different parts of the world. So the initial or the issue which we need to take care is the take care of forest and planning for the sustainable management of these forests. Okay, these are the life for various indigenous people, because their culture, their food, their shelters, their everything is dependent on this forests. Okay, then importance of various you must be hearing about the carbon footprinting, and then carbon sequestration activities. So all because of the excessive use of industrialization or excessive use of these vehicles, which is very badly impacting the carbon impact into the various areas. Okay, other than that, the need of these forest produces in terms of furniture, in terms of infrastructure making, has gone up so high that the cutting of these trees is very regular. Okay, which is directly or indirectly hampering the day to day life of the people. Okay, so if you go through the value or the importance of the forest, that is very high, very important. Now if we are not awareing about the risk which our future generations or we in future are going to face due to the lack of the forests, if we are not wake up right now, then the future times will be very hard times for the generations to come. Okay, so we need to understand the value of the forest first, which we have studied in our previous lectures also. Now, introduction to the various ecosystem goods and services which we can get from the forest. Okay, like provisioning services, food, fiber, fuels, these kind of system, things we are getting from the different forest products. Generic resources, biochemicals, fresh water, etc. Then cultural services, spiritual and religious values. You must be having an idea that the people, the burger, all these trees has some religious and spiritual values. Okay, karma tree you must have heard, especially Mosmi. Okay, we have in Jharkhand we have a puja called as karma. So that is related to the culture and religious values of the people who are residing in a particular area towards a particular tree. Okay, So because of those cultural values, they try to protect those kind of trees. Okay. Then knowledge system, education and inspiration. Okay, we can inspire our students ki people is a tree which provides you oxygen all the time. Okay. Or other than people, there are trees like neem, which has its own medical or ayurvedic values. Okay. Giloy has its own value. So we can inspire people for different kinds of species of trees to generate or to plant. Then some trees, they have their recreational or aesthetic values, like pines. They give a very scenic beauty, so many people, they want to go to the hills and enjoy the beauty of different kinds of pines into those areas. So every tree has maybe some recreational or aesthetic value also, due to which it has some good importance, or due to which people may try to save it. Okay. Then the regulation and services. Okay, because of those things also, we can regulate different kinds of services, like invasion resistant, herbivory services, seed dispersal, climate regulations. Okay, pest regulation, disease regulation, natural hazard protection, and erosion regulation or water purification. So these many services also provide in direct or indirect form of the different activities of forests. Then supporting services, primary production. Okay, provision of habitats, nutrient cycle, it is also being helped by the different plant structures. Then soil formation and retention. You must be knowing that the trees, they shed their leaves. Okay. In different forested area, and they work like a regeneration of the soil, or sometimes it fertilize the soil as they fragment or something like that. Then production of atmospheric oxygen, because of trees, production of different kinds of atmospheric oxygen, it is also being maintained. Then water cycle, the trees, they also help in water cycle. These all are the basic things which you must have gone through in your previous classes, also in your previous lectures also. So these are the ecosystem goods and services which are provided by the different fig forest ecosystems. Clear? Then after this, we have ecosystem services and human well-being also. Okay. If you go through the ecosystem services, we have these many services, like we have provisioning services, where we are talking about the food which we have just discussed in the previous slide also. Then the constituents of well-being. Okay. Then these ecosystem services are being connected with the constituents of the well-being. That means the personal safety, security of resources, security from the disasters. So if you talk about the security, now these services or these trees also helpful in the safety. Okay, as far as the resource access is concerned, and the security from disasters, like we have discussed that it controls the soil retention, it controls the atmospheric oxygen, water cycle also. If there is some imbalance between water cycle, so there are chances that there will be a shortfall in rains. Okay. And if there is a shortfall in rains, there will be a problem of underground water penetration. Less water may, because there is a loss of water which is coming through rains. So there will surely a water retention related problem also. And then if there is a less water which percolates or which is there in the soil, okay, so it will directly concern with the humidity in the water or in the soil, sorry. And obviously that lead to the loss of some agriculture production. So everything is interconnected. So if we are having a good ecosystem services, good forest resources, then obviously we are securing many things. Okay, whether it is related to the personal safety, securing the resources, and security from the disasters. Other than that, basic material for good life. Okay, everybody wants. अब नाउ अगर मैं आई टॉक अबाउट कि भाई तुम्हारे घर पे बेड, कैन यू इमेजिन योर होम विदाउट डोर्स? So doors, from which what we are making it from the wood. Can you imagine your house without almiras? No. Without windows? No. So if we want an adequate livelihood, okay, now if we are talking about this windows, doors, we need to talk about the rural life also, where we are talking about the different livelihood options. Like we are talking about the daily fuel for the cooking of foods or for other works. Okay, that is also we are getting from the different ecosystem services or different forest resources. Okay, so if we are talking about adequate livelihoods, that also we are able to get it from the forest. Then sufficient nutritious food. Okay, that is also a product of, for if you talk about various tribal areas, they are getting their fuels, their shelter, their livelihood options, and access to various goods. Okay, you will see ki there many of the transportation carts, okay, through which they move their goods from one place to another place, they are also being made by the wood. Okay, so basic material for good life, whether we are talking about a good life in the rural area or in the urban area, is being provided by direct or indirect use of forest resources. Now let's come to the part of health. Okay, if we are talking about health, because forests, they purify the air, so they give us a good strength, a feeling good. Agar if I am staying in a polluted place, I may feel sometimes nervousness or some different kinds of activities. So the forest, they provide us strength, feeling of good health, then excess of clean air and water. So all these health related things also we are able to expect from the good atmosphere or good environment. And that good environment depends on the various forest related activities. Okay, why people want to go into for trekking into hilly areas? Okay, why? Because there the population is very what you can say, very low, and you can say that the living standard is very okay types. Okay, so everybody wants, if they have vacations, they should go to any hill station for enjoying this part. Okay, access to clean air and water, having good scenic beauty. Okay, having good trekking areas. Okay, so that is related to your health or mental health, mental peace. Then good social relationships. Okay, and freedom of choice of an action. So all these things, ecosystem services and human well-being, they are interconnected. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now there are some hard facts about the forests in India. What are those hard facts? Means the unrecorded and partly illegal felling amounts to more than half of the commercially harvested timber and firewood. Okay, so what they are trying to say by this fact that there are illegal or unrecorded felling of trees. ठीक है ना? The government doesn't have the records that who has harvested that timber or the fuel which the people of in and around they are using as a fuel. So this is a very hard fact, and in many of the cases, because if you see the case of forest fires, okay, so in many hilly areas there are fire incidents during summers especially. So it is very hard to differentiate that whether it is an intentional fire or if not whether it is a fire which is due to the uncarelessness matlab, unaware facts of the people who are traveling into those areas. Like we have right now discussed that people they want a mental satisfaction or mental peace, that's why they move towards hilly areas. I will tell you one incident of yesterday's, which I was seeing in some Facebook or something like that. That there was a huge traffic jam in Chandigarh Shimla highway. Now, a days we are having lockdown like conditions, but the government they have given a little bit relaxation, and there was a huge traffic jam on that highway. Why? Because uh, people they are not understanding ki if we are residing in inside our houses, we that is for our benefit. Okay, but they want open air, they want to roam around because that has became our habit. Okay, so in the same way, if they are moving into those areas, they must be having campfire or something like that into those areas where they want a mental peace. They are cooking their food into those forested areas, or if suppose there is a wind or something like that, so a small spark, because of a small spark there will be a fire incident into those forest area, which may lead to a loss. Now that may be recorded, that may not be recorded. Then again, people of in and around those forested area, they usually come for feeding of their cattle into those forested area. Whatever the small grass is there in the surface of those forests, they come for their cattle to feed into those forest areas. So with that they collect those uh, uh, what do you call wood for their fuel or something which is unrecorded, or sometimes they illegally fall those cut those trees for uh, their furniture or something day to day life things. So that is sometimes unrecorded and partially illegal falling falls under illegal felling of trees. Okay, which they either do for the commercial purpose or they do it for the uh, wood to use as a firewood or their day-to-day life. Then recorded forest in India is 67.5 million hectare, which is 20.55% of the total area of. Actual forest cover is 63.3 million hectare. ठीक है ना? Recorded is, so there is a gap between these two as per the reports. Then only 38 million hectare of forest are well stocked. Crown density is above 40%. In the previous lectures of mine, I have told you that FSI has given a forest density record, that if it is 70%, more than 70%, then it is a very dense forest. Crown density, okay, we are talking about the crown density. If there is a this crown density is 40 to 70%, then it is a dense forest, whereas if it is 10 to 40%, it is a degraded forest. So only 38 million out of this 67 or 63, only 38%, 38 million hectare is having the 40% or more than 40% density. Okay, so approximately half or 60% area. Then the protected areas, protected area as per 2011, ठीक है, which we have national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, community reserves, and protected areas. Okay, all these classes are having this much of numbers as far as the complete Indian records are maintained. So this is their aerial distribution, and this is a percentage as far as the geographical area is concerned. ठीक है, so if you see National Park 102, that is per the 2011 census, and the environmental, this information is given by the Wildlife Sanctuary of India. ठीक है ना, Wildlife Institute of India. ठीक है, so then wildlife sanctuaries in complete India we have 515, which covers around 3.65 of geographic area. Okay, then conservation reserve forest is around 44, and this covers around 4.4% area. Community reserves only 4, and this covers around 0.00054% of the. So protect. So if you see the protected area, the wildlife sanctuaries, and the national park, they covers the maximum area out of this protected areas. Okay. So this is a trend of protected areas in India. Okay. Then you see with time, protected area we have tried to increase. Okay, so in proposals we have proposed for 294 numbers of this protected areas, different protected areas. ठीक है, then history, why do we need, or what is the history of this forest management activities? Okay, if you go through the Indian scriptures and literature, they mention the forest management. How? I told you in the initial slides of mine, in terms of their culture, in terms of their religious values, in terms of their traditional values, their Ayurvedic values. So in Indian scriptures and literatures, they have mentioned about the forest management. Okay, the scientific studies managed forest and came with the colonial rules only. The Indian forest, एक second, department. Okay, the Indian Forest Department was initially set up by the British officers in senior positions and Indian officers to assist. If you see many of the departments, Survey of India, Forest Survey of India, they are being established by different Britishers. So they were the leading officers and they have recruited Indians to assist them. Okay, for the conservation of different kinds of forest activities. Then Forest Act 1878. Now this is briefly we are having an idea about the different how this forest management came into existence. So Forest Act 1878, control of all reserve forests. In the Forest Act 1878, the control of all reserve forests were taken into consideration. Then in 1890, almost every province of India had a permanent forest administrative took after the state. Okay, so in 1890, in India, every forest administration, okay, whatever the forest administrative boundary or administrative, regulations we were having. So in every forest administration, there was a, person to look out. So in 1890, almost every province in India, they had a permanent forest administration who look after these different states forest in terms of their management. Then historically, India had a forest cover of 65% out of total geographical area. Then with time, it shrink up to 40% by the middle of the centuries. Okay, as on today's figure. Okay, around if you talk about to 2011 or 2015, it is shrink up to 19% only. Okay, then Wildlife Protection Act 1972 it came into existence. Okay, then 1980 Forest Conservation Act. Okay, then 2005 there was an act called as Forest Right Act. So all these rights or these acts, they came to manage different kinds of forest activities. Okay, now there are, we have to go through different acts. Why? Because the one act was not properly managed or succeeded. Okay, so there are some reasons due to which we need or we have faced this forest management failures. Okay, so what were the causes of these failures? So Indian Forest Act, which was created in 1927, it was restricting the people's access to government forests, because this act 1927, okay, which was created for different kinds of forest management activity, it was restricting the people access into the government forests, which was the lead cause of, failure of these forests. Then the Forest Act 1952, village communities should no event be permitted to use forest at all cost of national interest. Okay, because in 1952 even the village communities should in no event be permitted to use the, so even the small villages who are which are in and around those forest areas, as per the act, they are not supposed to go and have any kind of event, whether it is related to maybe pastures or other things. So they were not permitted to do that. Then right to manage the forest were vested in the state governments till 1996. That is again the reason, because of the different acts they were failed. After that, the forest put on the concurrent list. Then the prior to the Forest Conservation Act 1980, the state government should take any forest land out for forestry and to put other use such as agriculture, roads and habitation and settlement. Okay, so prior to the Forest Act 1980, the state governments could take, ठीक है, इससे पहले कि 1980 का एक्ट आता, उससे पहले जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स थी, they were permitted for any kind of agriculture, road construction or habitation or settlement related activities to go by their own into the different forest areas before the 1980 act has come. Okay, in 1980 the FCA, forest forest committee of forest committee, only government of India empowered to release the forest land non forestry purposes. Okay, only government land. Okay, so in 1980, the FCA government to India empowered to release the forest land for non-forestry purposes. So that was again a reason of failure, that the Indian government empowered to release the forest land for any kind of non-forestry activities to be performed. Okay, until 1988, the policy of lands used for commercial purposes. So up to 1988, the policy land uses for commercial purposes also. That is again a reason of failure. Now impacts of these forest laws. Okay, because we have studied that what is the forest management history, okay, how the forest management activities they came into existence, but there are some facts due to which these forest management activities they had a bad failure. Then now, because of these, the impacts of forestry laws, okay, there are many impacts which has to be faced by the people in terms of the forestry laws. First is the shortage of timber. Okay, so because of excessive use or maybe excessive encroachment into the forested areas, there was a shortage in the timber means hardwood. Okay, then the soil erosion and depletion of water resources, because there is a lot of degradation of forest took place, so in those areas they had to face a problem of soil erosion and depletion of. Now if you take a example of northeast Himalayan states like Sikkim, or if you take an example of Himachal or Uttarakhand, every year we have a cases of landslides or land erosion into along the roadsides. Why this is happening? Because the people they or the officials to enlarge the roads, they are cutting the trees. So now these after cutting these trees, the soil becomes very weak, because earlier the roots of those trees have tried to maintain the soil erosion as well as the land degradation into those areas. So because of the degradation in the forest, that lead to the soil erosion as well as the depletion of water resources also. Then the biodiversity loss. Okay, in previous classes also, when we are having a brief or the introductory talk, we have talked about the wildlife and human conflict, or you can say habitat and human conflict. Or you must have seen that biodiversity loss, in many areas there was uh, you know uh, uh, loss of different animals. Why these kind of activities are taking place? Because we are encroaching into the habitats of different biodiversities. We are making farmhouses, we are making road construction inside the forest. If there is a road construction, obviously there will be people who are getting those mental reliefs or those piece of what you can say mind, so they visit those places very frequently. And then obviously the animals who are residing into those forested areas or different biodiversities, they we are interrupting their day to day life, that is being disturbed by those activities. So which leads to the loss of various biodiversities. You must have heard that in Ranthambore or in Sariska National Park of your area, or in many other hilly areas, there is a loss of different animals or different species of fauna or different species of trees. So to protect those faunas or floras, government has to take an initiative that they have to declare different state birds. now if they have declared those distinct animals or distinct plants as a state birds or state trees, so out of patriotic feelings inside a particular man, maybe they stop doing all these kind of things. So there is a loss of biodiversity due to these kind of activities. Then we have impact on climate change. Okay, you must have studied various documents where due to the degradation of forests, okay, there is a change in the in and around temperature of the area. Okay, you must have studied many studies where due to the covid, okay, when there was a lockdown, there are drastic change as far as the water quality of different rivers are concerned, as far as the environmental pollutions are, they are improving like anything, and due to which the climate is also having a positive impact. Okay, the rainfalls and all the things, they are on time. Okay, but if there is a lot of pollution, so lot of global climate change you will be seeing. There is a acute increase in temperature, there is a sudden downfall in the temperature. Okay, there is a monsoon coming very soon or very late. There are somewhere floodings in the country or somewhere. So due to these forest related changes, there are impact on the climate change also. Then the livelihood of forest dwellers. This we have already discussed, that the fauna or flora which are residing inside those forested area, they are also being affected adversely due to the interference of different activities inside those forested areas. Depletion of wildlife, erosion of ecosystem services. Getting it? So these kind of impacts we are having due to the forest loss. Then the positive impacts of forestry. There are also some positive impacts which are because of forestry. Okay, so yet forest management has evolved the balancing of socializing economic benefits without compromising the ecological consideration. Okay, so sustainable forest management. Okay, sustainable means where we are focusing about the future generations also. So sustainable forest management is a dynamic evolving concept that aims to maintain and enhance the economic, social, and environment value of all types of forests for the benefit of the present and the future generations. Okay, the word sustainable means when we are trying to do something for the benefit of the present generation as well as for the future generations. Okay, so we are, if we are talking about sustainable forest management, then it is with reference to the forest. If we are talking about the water, sustainable management of water, then it may be related with the, it may be related with the benefit of the present generation or future generations as far as the different water resources are concerned. ऐसे ही sustainable natural resource management is also one terminology where we are talking about the each and every resource to be managed by the different activities, different management strategies or programs where we are focusing on the benefit of the present and the future generations. Okay, clear is sustainable forest management. Then the reduced impact of logging. ठीक है. So these are the positive impacts of forestry, where we are focusing about the sustainable forest management, where we are focusing about the balancing of economic benefits or the social balancing without compromising the different ecological consideration. Other than that, we are also focusing about the reduced impact of logging, means the cutting of trees. Okay, we have to reduce that also. Only if there is some infections, or maybe the tree is on its maturing stage. Okay, at the end of his life, maybe a tree is having lifetime about 20 years. So if it is on its 20th year, then after that it may fall, and it may have an impact on the people who are residing there. Okay, so in that case we need to take care of these kind of things, that we are focusing about the reduced impact of the logging. So if we have managed the logging activities, illegal logging activities, so directly or indirectly we are trying to go for the management of different degraded forests. Okay, and it will surely give a positive impact as far as the conservation of these forests are concerned. Okay, so these are the positive impact if suppose somewhere the forest activities are increasing. Now sustainable forest management. So the government has also taken up some initiative for this sustainable forest management, although there was a failure, but to some extent maybe in some places it has paid some role. Okay, you will find in some state the forest cover that is also increasing. So that what how that is possible? Okay, so that is possible because of these sustainable management initiatives which were taken by the government. Okay, so these are some initiatives where we are talking about the Forest Conservation Act, Wildlife Protection Act, Joint Forest Management, which is also called as JFMs. Okay, it is there in your study. So in the coming classes we will be discussing about this joint forest management, what activities has government has initiated during this joint management forest management act. Then Forest Right Acts in 2005, Green India Mission in 2011, and then the National Working Plan Coding in 2012. Okay, then sustainable management of forest. Okay, if you go for the sustainable forest management activities, which is also known as SFM. Okay, sustainable forest management. We have ecological values, we have economic values, we have social values. When we are talking about the sustainable forest management, we are trying to maintain the ecological values within a forest area, economic values, and social values as well. Okay, so this is a diagram which is showing what the forest management in terms of its sustainability is concerned. Then there are some indicators or criteria which are related with this sustainable forest management activities. These are extent of forest resources. Okay, we need to extend these forest resources, biological diversities, forest health and vitality, then productive functions, protective functions, socio-economic functions, and legal policies and institutional frameworks. Okay, so if we want to have this sustainable forest management, we have certain criterias and indicators which we need to take care. Okay, so these are those. Now after this we have an increase in the extent of forest and tree covers. Okay, how the area and type of forest cover under natural and man-made forest. First thing, ठीक है, when we can say कि there is an increase in the forest area or tree area when there is a area or type of forest cover under a natural or man-made forest. Okay, then the forest area officially diverted for non-forestry purposes. Forest area under encroachment, forest area of dense open and scrub forest, and tree cover outside the forest area. Okay, whenever increase in the forest, extent of forest and tree cover, whenever we have tried to incorporate forest into these areas, if we are talking about encroachment areas, non-forestry areas, or tree outside forest areas, so all these things, they increase the forest cover or the extent of forest area. Then maintenance, conservation, and enhancement of biodiversity, how we can go for area of protected ecosystems, number of animals and the plants, okay? How we maintain these conservation and enhancement of biodiversity. Okay, for that we need to know about the areas of protected ecosystems, how many numbers of plant species are there inside a particular forest area, number and status of threatened species, whether it is plant, animals, or insects. So that also we need to know. Then we can go for the maintenance or conservation or enhancement. If we don't know the exact quantity of a particular thing, okay, in a forested area, unless we don't know that, we cannot go for the different kinds of maintenance or conservation related activities. Clear? Then we have maintenance and enhancement of ecosystem functions and vitality. Okay, all these indicators, how we can do that, that we are discussing here. Now, maintenance and enhancement of the ecosystem functions and vitality. ठीक है, so status of the natural generation regenerations we need to know for the maintenance and enhancement of the ecosystems. ठीक है, first thing we need to know is status of natural regeneration while we are talking about the maintenance and enhancement of ecosystem. Earlier what we have discussed, we had talked about the maintenance of conservation and enhancement of biodiversity. In second, what we are discussing about the maintenance of enhancement of ecosystem functions. How we can do that? Firstly, we need to know about the naturally regeneration. Okay, forest में जो भी natural forest हैं, we don't go and plant tree. Okay, there is a regular process. Okay, if you go through the succession rate, which we have studied in our first unit, there we know the based on the stands, tree stands, their height, their size of girth, we come to know about the age of the different tree stands. Okay, so what is the status, whether we are growing it naturally or some plantation activity has been planned to regenerate a particular wasteland, fallow land into forested area by the forest departments. So whatever regeneration or is the status of natural regeneration, that will be enhancing your ecosystem function. Then incidents of the forest fire, okay, that will lead to a decrease of the forest fire, the forested areas. So if there are any incidents, we need to go for the maintenance of those forested areas. Okay, so what we are doing for the enhancement of those forests, if we are able to maintain those forests, we are improving or maintaining the ecosystem function. Then extent of livestock grazing, forest area open for grazing, number of livestock grazing, in the occurrence of weeds in the forest area, and the weed type, incidence of pest disease. Okay, so if we know all these things properly, we can go for the maintenance and further enhancement. If we don't know which area is infected with the what kind of disease and how to manage those things, if the animals are grazing in a particular area, whether only grazing activities are occurring in those places, or maybe some kind of logging or illegal logging is also being done by the people who are coming there for the grazing purposes. So if such kind of activities are being took place in a, but if they are by default the trees are shedding some small branches or leaves, uh, you are collecting those things for your fuel purpose, that okay. But if you are illegally logging a particular thing, so that means directly or indirectly we are making some hindrance in the maintenance or enhancement of a particular ecosystem function. Okay, so we need to take care of all these things, then only we can go for a proper enhancement or management of these things. Okay, then the conservation and maintenance of soil and water is also possible. Area under watershed treatment, area to be prone soil erosion, ravine, saline, alkaline soil, deserts, hot or cold, soil fertility. So all these kind of things we can maintain with the help of different forest regeneration activities. Okay, then adequate policy, legal institutional framework. Then these things also helpful in the proper management of the different forest activities. Okay, then sources of wood. What can be the sources of woods? Do you think the origin of the timber products? Do you think the nationality of sold timber products could from tropical countries? Okay, so from where these woods come? Okay, then right now what we have studied the uh, forest management, what it is, okay, how it is being initiated in Indian context, what are the major causes of failure of these plans, what government has initiated, and what are these different plans what government has made for the sustainable forest management activities. Okay, this we have gone through. Now what is sustainable forest management, this also we have covered in this. And then how we can go for the different indicators of the forest sustainable forest management, that also we have gone through. Now the next topic is the environmental impacts of these sustainable forest management activities. Okay, so deforestation, because of different activities in the forest activity, if we are not going through the different forest management activities, there will be a deforestation, there will be a illegal logging, there will be a illegal falling of trees. So we need to go for a sustainable management to avoid all these kind of things, whether it is relating to the forest degradation in terms of the different patches of forest are being destroyed. Okay, so all these things are has to be studied. Then environmental impacts, ठीक है ना. फर्स्ट इम्पैक्ट आया तुम्हारा डिफॉरेस्टेशन का. In terms of this we can have a deforestation related activities if we are not following the sustainable वो properly. ठीक है, land use conservation, and forest degradation in terms of pest infection, in terms of forest fires. ठीक है, then economic impacts. ठीक है, various people, they depend for their livelihood to these forest areas. ठीक है, so loss of revenues for producer countries, market distortions plus erosion of funds. Non-sustainable forest management can decrease the forest productivity and harming the informal and subsistence economies. Okay, so there are economies who are totally dependent on the forest for their livelihoods. Okay, if you go through the tribal people, they are purely dependent for their livelihoods to these forests. So how we can go for, if we are not going for the sustainable management activities, then in future these people who are dependent on this forest, they need to go for different economic property impacts, right? Then there are also some social issues, like forests are the home for about 60 million indigenous people. I told you in the beginning also that whenever we are talking about forest management activities, so in a country like India or many other countries, they are some indigenous peoples, around 60 million. They are totally dependent on their livelihoods for the forest, as the forests are home for them. Okay, important cultural and social role of forest in many countries. Okay, so in India, I have told you. Other than that, also in many countries, the especially these tribal countries, they worship these trees as their god, and they have a cultural and social values. We also, okay, we also worship many trees as every tree has a cultural or religious or social value. Okay, we also as a Ayurvedic thing, we also take many plants as a मेडिकल वैल्यू रिलेटेड थिंग्स. ठीक है, हम बोलते हैं कि नीम खाना है, हम बोलते हैं कि गिलोय खाना है. ठीक है, हम बोलते हैं कि तुलसी खानी है. ठीक है, सो व्हाट these values has some medicinal values also. So that's why, because of culture, social, religious thing, many countries or many areas, they are having a socio-cultural religious values of forest. Okay, then commercial logging competes for excess of land. Okay, commercial logging also, this is a cause of degradation into these forested areas. Low concern for labor rights, health and safety along with the supply chain. Okay, now illegally the timber. What is illegal timber? I have used many times the illegal timber. Here also we have studied that people, they are doing illegal timber related activities. Now, what is this timber, illegal timber? Illegal timber, a general definition, is illegal logging that takes place when timber is harvested, transported, or bought or sold in violation of national laws. ठीक है, तुमने देखा होगा कि whenever there is a government cutting of forested areas took place, so many government officials, they came in their surveillance. The every tree has been cutted properly, and they put a mark on those things, and a government fix up a truck or something, and then they transport that into their depots. government depots. Okay, so whenever there is a logging which takes place when the timber is harvested, transported, brought and sold in violation of laws, that is called as illegal timber. ठीक है, for example, illegality of the forest sector, logging without license. ठीक है, the forest officials, they issue a license only then the, like if there is a tree, whether it is into a forested area or into like into a road or something, first for example, that tree is has completed his age. Okay, so in that case we have to take permission from forest officials ki by telling ki this tree is now becoming a threat for my house as well as my neighbors also, and because if it is false, it may damage my house as well as my surroundings house. So then looking into the matter, the forest officials, they, if they decide कि yes, तो कई बारी वो इतनी परमिशन देते हैं कि only you can do the cutting part, and if they see कि yes, this is a major issue of concern, then they permit for cutting of the trees. Otherwise they can arrest you कि you have done an illegal activities if you cut these trees by your own. Okay, so logging without license, violation of forest regulations, and corruption in obtaining license. एक second, I'm just finishing it off in 1 minute.
ठीक है मैम, ठीक है.
Okay, so till here I'm stopping my lecture till here, and tomorrow we will be continuing with the impact of these illegal activities into the forest, and then how the government is moving towards the sustainable forest management. Right now in this lecture we have gone through that what is sustainable forest management, how we are able to manage these sustainable activities, forest management activities, and finally what are the different things due to which we can go for these activities, right? So now you all can appear for your